Yo, welcome to another episode of Culture Controversial Podcast Sports Talk. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas A7, and my co-host D-Ron and Ty H. What's up, babies?
What's
What's
going
happening? What's
on?
happening?
Nothing much, man. For all the new people out there that hadn't subscribed to the channel, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the content, and share these videos, man. We out here. So we're on the road to 200. So let's make that goal happen by the end of the year. All right. T,
Yes, sir. Let's
you
get
got
it.
the floor, baby.
Yeah. Of course, before we get into the nitty gritty of what we're talking about, just on a serious note, praying for a good friend of the show, our good friend Sam Williams, good friend, classmate of Nick and I, a good friend of both of ours. He laid his wife to rest today, Catrice, who was our classmate as well. Very saddening to hear that it came out of nowhere. Like I said,
Yeah.
she was a beautiful person inside and out, beautiful spirit, beautiful soul. Um, Sam, her husband, all Nick, Sam, and I hang out together a lot anyway. At least prior to the pandemic, we used to. So to see our brother mourning, it saddens me. I know it saddens Nick. At the same time, we know that death is a part of life, but when it hits the family of people that you know and people that are, and we're only 33 years old. So it hits a little different when a fellow 33-year-old that you graduated high school with leaves here. So, I'm
Right.
not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and tell Sam how to feel. I'm not going to sit here and tell him how he should grieve. But like I said, he is like a brother to us. So I wanted to give him a shout out, and I hope he takes all the time he needs to heal. And when the time comes, we're gonna chop it up again, man, and we're gonna try to make the best of life, and hopefully we can help him heal.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Kind of sad. It hit me kind of hard. 'Cause like I said, we all went to school together. It wasn't like nobody talked to nobody. We all communicated with each other. So it's kind of different when you actually know a person a little bit closer than you know
Right, right.
just knowing them. So yeah, I pray for my brother. We love you, bro. So keep
Absolutely,
your head
much
up,
love.
man. When you get yourself right, if you ever need me, man, just holler. So.
And remember, you know who's in charge. You know who's in
Man,
charge.
yeah. So let's get into the first topic of the day. I want to go into the football aspect of things. Just wanted to ask, we already know what happened Sunday. As you can see on G posts, I miss Cam. I'm pretty sure a lot of people in Carolina miss Cam. You know,
Hell,
and that's
hell. At this point,
respectfully
I'll
so.
take I'll take the loan at this point.
um, I'm gonna ask you a question because I didn't understand this going into. I think it may have been the fourth quarter or maybe late third quarter, pulling the quarterback when the game was kind of still in reach before the mishaps of them scoring. I want to say it was almost 15 points, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. At the time he pulled them, what it was like 12-3 or something like that.
It was still winning the
Yeah, it was a
game.
strike. It was still in striking distance. When you have an incompetent head coach like Matt Rule, like I already told you, the man is a liar. The man has no valor, and the man should be a college coach. When you have a guy, he doesn't even know what's going on himself. He's confused. His team has no identity, and without Christian McCaffrey, he's completely lost. And he's just week by week showing more and more of his incompetence. And to
Right.
do that at that time, to me, that's for one. If PJ Washington is backing up Sam Darnold, that lets you know the lack of ability that he
Mm.
has. So
No
so
disrespect to him, I get he just thrown in the fire, but at that point in
right.
time, you were down 12-3 or 15-3, whatever it was at the
It
time.
might have been 12 at the time against one of the worst teams in all of professional football, against a New York Giants team that has no pass rush, a New York
Right.
Giants team who hasn't stopped anybody all year, and you struggle and you're putting your defense in a bind because they're on the field so much. At this point, this team has completely lost its identity, has lost its mojo, and at the end of the day, the head coach doesn't have his team ready to play ball. The quarterback, Sam Darnold, the head coach himself, he handpicked that quarterback. That's who he asked to trade for from the New York Jets to bring down here. It's not like that was. It's not like he inherited that. This is the same coach who threw Teddy Bridgewater under the bus last year, and yet he's going to handpick this guy. So this is who he wanted. He has to own this. But one thing about Matt Rule, when things go south, I'm starting to notice that he has the propensity to throw guys under the bus for his failures. And what's going to end up happening? Hopefully, he ends back up in college football where he belongs.
Agreed. D.
I mean, simple. I call him a motivational speaker. That's all he is. He ain't no coach.
Exactly. He's a
He's
politician.
Yeah, he's a motivation speaker. He can talk the talk, but he definitely can't walk the walk. And you've seen it. Last year I gave him a pass because it was a COVID year and a lot of stuff was going on. But there's no way this team, even without Christian McCaffrey, should be in the predicament they're in right now, 3-4. That's coaching, and that's showing you that if a coach don't have their team prepared, this is what you're going to see each Sunday going forward. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse. I guarantee you. As long as he's the captain of that boat, it's going to get worse. And hopefully, in my mind, the GM, I don't know him. This is his first year. I hope he's being a talent evaluator from the head coach all the way down to his players. Because if he's evaluating the head coach right now, and I'm sure Tepper, I don't know Tepper's hand in everything, and I'm sure he has a hand in a lot when it comes to the organization still. I'm sure he's asking the GM, what is your thought on Matt Rule? Hopefully the GM is honest. I mean, everybody can see it. It's just not fans just liking him because they're not losing, not winning the games, but it's evident. His demeanor, how he carries himself every Sunday, the way he's is interviewing, the way he answers questions, and the way he carries himself in interviews after the game, post-game conference. That's not a coach. That's not a guy that's standing up for his mistakes. Because each mistake that's happening each Sunday is because of him. He's not prepping these guys. And that shows. When you're not prepared, this is the product that we're going to see. Yeah. And the thing is, I feel sorry. I know we have conflicting fans, but we have a real stout fan base and people that really support this organization. And for somebody like that, like you said, that became a politician due to college teams and getting popular through Temple, and was it Baylor, the other team that he coached in college?
Yeah, good college coach.
He's showing it. Now, they're throwing the rumors about USC, and I hope he goes to USA.
Take him. He'll do a good job out there too. But take him. That's his style of coaching is for college. Because in college you have to be a salesman, like Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney's a great salesman. But in college to recruit players, you have to be a salesman. But this is grown man business here.
Right.
This is grown man.
My thing is that, like you said, and I hope that GM is watching and evaluating the talent, even the head coach himself, because you can, like you said, Evan see. In my opinion, Carolina should easily be 6-1 or 5-2.
Yeah, we can even deal with the 5-2. And what bothers me, I don't want to hear ish else about Joe Brady being a head coaching candidate. Exactly. I don't want to, at least not in the NFL, not in the NFL, maybe in college. Because I'm about to say, as far as coordinating, well, LSU won that national title. Hey, good for him. He and Ed Orgeron, they did a fine job down there. But as far as, I don't want to hear anything about him being a candidate for an NFL head coaching job. But and this genius label, I'm not understanding where it's coming from. But this abysmal offense is the offense that's being coordinated by him. And I'm like, I don't see it. He's supposed to be this. To me, he's looking more like Adam Gase than a Sean McVay.
Absolutely, probably worse than Adam Gase at the moment right now.
Woo!
I hate to say it. I'm not gonna trust me. I love the Panthers. This is my football team, but it's a shameful thing that we are seeing. Even when Rivera was coach, even when he was losing game, he had enough sense to still try to pick his team up.
Right.
I mean, he didn't fault anybody. He collectively took it as a team effort. And this is what you're seeing from Rule is, it's not me. Guys ain't doing what they're supposed to do.
He blames everybody else, like I said. He blames everybody else.
But he's the head coach. At the end of the day, he has to take self-accountability. You put that team out there in a situation.
He's not doing that. And he did a lot of games that we lost close last year. He did not take accountability that when he don't know how to time manage a game.
And that could be a big problem in the locker room as well.
Oh,
When
yeah, it's a
players
lot
actually hearing
of
it.
you guys are not. I guarantee you, it's not gonna come out now because it's still kind of early on in the season. But I guarantee you, he done lost that locker room to a degree.
And some of that stuff that Teddy was saying last year after he got traded, looking like there's a lot of truth to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I believed him when I heard it. I said, you know what? I don't think he's really trying to throw him under the bus like that because he got traded. I really feel like there's some truth behind it. But of course, he's speaking from his experience going to another team. So of course, the other Panthers are not going to come out and say what he's saying is true. Because they don't want to create that friction in their organization because of
So I want to ask this too, because prior to that, with the whole Luke Kuechly thing, do you think Luke Kuechly retired because of his health, or do you think he retired because of Matt Rule?
I guarantee it had a lot to do with the coaching. I guarantee he saw something in him. And think about it. He was supposed to be a kind of a scout type guy last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
And what did he do? He quit. He stepped down from that. So that shows a lot. If he really was the guy that he speaks volume of, like he's a mega preacher or something like that. I mean,
yeah, that's how they come off. Yeah,
but I mean, this is
exactly.
how I am with this guy. I'm just being honest with you because he's basically just ruined the organization. I mean, he's ruined it, and it's not gonna get worse. Somebody talked to me, before the Giants game, like, "Oh man, y'all win the Giants game." I said, "You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, don't count on that." You're like, "We all should handle the Giants." I'm telling you, I said, it just something about him and how each week it hasn't got better. You learn from your mistakes. If you're a real football team, you go out and perform better the next week after a certain loss. Each loss has gotten worse. Each week.
I agree. And and as far as the defense is concerned, the defense is not a problem. They're on the field a long time, man. When your offense turning the ball over, going 3 and out over and over again, that defense is on the field a long time. And then by the fourth quarter, man, they just gassed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They play good, heck of a defensive game. Think about it. Last week game, 3-5, halftime, right?
Mm-hmm.
They gassed. You can't sit there and be put in a situation where the team's already on the opposite side of the 50-yard line about to score. Already in field goal range.
Right.
And you
they got blamed a lot in that game against Philadelphia, but I'm like, if the offense could have done anything at all, I mean, the defense is one of the reasons why you led the whole time. They held them as long as they could. Then they could,
you can't do but so much.
And then after that block punt or whatever, that really put them in a bind in that game against. Yeah, so I mean, people want to, and I get tired of people wanting to blame the defense, and I'm tired of Matt Rule not wanting to take any kind of accountability. Like, for example, like when we talked to Ralph Jackson, one thing I always like about Coach is that no matter what happens, even he's going to always say that, hey, I'm the head coach, that falls on me. Like the first question I asked him that time, when I asked about the special teams not being that good, not once did he blame his special teams coordinator or nothing like that. He said, I'm the head coach, that falls on me. He's saying that's something that we're working on to fix. My point is, he understands that whatever happens ultimately falls on the head coach. It seems like Rule is a guy who likes to deflect blame. He doesn't want to hold himself accountable for anything, and that bothers me. That lets you know the character of the man you have. They say that he's such a great human being. If a man can't hold himself accountable, I can't even say he's a great human, because a part of being a great human is having self accountability. And with him, everything's everyone else's fault. Like even with the Teddy Bridgewater thing, that's who even with Teddy last year, they chose Teddy. They went out and got Teddy. That's who they wanted. Same thing with Darnold. They went out and traded for Darnold. So I'm like, these are the people that you're picking. Yet when everything didn't work out last year the way you wanted it, you threw Bridgewater under the bus. Now you got this guy, and everything's still everybody's fault but yours.
Like you said, man, the GM, I feel like he's evaluating, and he's looking at what the situation is. Because, like I said, man, I don't see how they shouldn't. There was no way possible they should have lost this game. Not one way. Not by that much. I put it that way. They should have lost by that much.
Not in that fashion. And
Yeah.
then try to go get Deshaun Watson. And I told people, said, Deshaun Watson don't want to come in this mess. Why would he want to come in an organization that's going to throw him more under the bus than what he's getting already thrown under the bus at?
Yeah, and we don't have a line. And I
Yeah.
mean, I've always liked Deshaun, but let's be frank, he got some stuff going on too
Oh,
that we
exactly.
don't.
Yeah.
We don't, and we don't know how that's going.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not here to say guilt or innocence. That's not my place. But I'm saying that's still over his head right now. Yeah, that's something that's still a risk when you don't know when somebody got a pending legal situation. It's kind of rough to trade all your capital and stuff when you don't even know if you're gonna have that person available to you long term or not. So,
Right. I think his landing destination possibly, if he makes a trade deadline, will probably be Miami. If possible.
that's what everyone's talking. They're saying Houston's still not liking what Miami offered. I'm like, they're not going to give you the farm, man. I'm like, are you either going to make the deal or you're not? Because
at this point,
they say
it may not even happen.
Yeah, so
because what the deadline is next week, right?
November the 2nd.
Yeah.
Monday.
I don't think it's gonna happen because if it was gonna happen, it'll happen already.
Hey, Deshaun got it made, man. You get to make $30 million. How much you make? He made like he got a big contract, didn't he? So you get to make like $30 million.
Yeah,
Get to make $30 million. Don't have to take a single hit. Don't have to sit on at the crib chilling and get paid $30 million. Must be nice.
He can't. I mean, it is good. You preserving your body and getting paid. So.
Yeah, he only 26 years old. He's what, 26? So whenever he does come back, there'll be less mileage on him to get to sit out and not be injured and then still collect that money. Man, lucky him.
Because there's a lot of teams that can actually take him. Because personally, I feel like if the bull was switched, I think, just saying a scenario, if somebody actually came up with a good deal, a team I think should probably get him right now, and it would probably work fit for him is New Orleans.
Yeah, because they're still 4-2. They're 4-2 with Winston. So if you put Watson back there, you could basically do the same things you did with Drew Brees and have the running element of his ability to run as well.
Yeah. See, with Winston, you don't know what you're gonna get.
See, what bothers me about Winston could be very good or he could be very bad, and you don't know until Sunday.
Yep.
He might throw 4 touchdowns. He might have a game where he throw 300 and some yards, 4 touchdowns, or he might come out next week and throw 4 interceptions. You just don't know.
Look, we got the bad Winston the second game. This is we got the bad Winston that second game.
It's like Joker throw him up.
It's like even odd. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing about Winston, when he plays bad, he lets an avalanche. I mean, he'll throw 5 interceptions and have 2 fumbles in the game. I'm like, he has like that Jake. He has a lot of that Jake Delhomme in him. Like,
honestly, for the situation, they probably would have lost that game if Seattle had Russell. I mean, I'm just gonna be real with you. They probably would have lost.
Of course. I mean, Geno Smith. I mean, I don't have it. I like Geno when he played at West Virginia. So I mean, when they had some good teams there when he was in college. So I mean, I like them. But come on, man, we're talking about Geno Smith. That whole situation is some BS though when he was with Jets, but I'm not getting into that. But come on, we talking about Geno Smith, man. And Pete Carroll he said that he's been in contact with who. Newton would make perfect sense in Seattle while Russell's out, because that way you can still run a lot of similar stuff and not have to have a big drop off, because Newton has has the mobility and is a proven starting quarterback, like I said, former Pro Bowler, former league MVP. Geno Smith, like, come on, man.
Out of all the people,
come on, man. Like, Seahawks. What's going to end up happening if they lose so many games? If I wouldn't even bring Russell back if I was them. I'd just say screw it.
Yeah, if they get too far behind that division, because right now they were about 3 games back. Probably
more than the LA Rams. The LA Rams are the Cardinals are 7-0. They're playing tonight. The LA Rams are 6-1. 49ers are like 500 or something like that, around 500 or so. So Seattle's last place.
Yeah, so I was saying they back a couple games, and at this pace right now, I don't see Arizona slowing down no time soon, or I don't see I don't see Los Angeles, losing any momentum coming in either. That defense is nasty. I'm just gonna put it like that.
They got the best defensive tackle in all of
Football,
professional football, Aaron Donald, and everything
yeah,
around him is nice too. So
Got Ramsey and
yeah, I got Ramsey.
on the back end,
Yeah, so
So
they
that's
they they sit, and like I said, I'm still not sold on Stafford yet.
I'm
You
not
know,
sold on him, but the thing about it, he doesn't have to be great. All he got to do, because the thing about it, look, they went to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff. So I
exactly.
mean,
yeah,
so if they can go to a Super Bowl with Jared Goff, I mean, then whatever they're trying to do with Stafford, they could do too. The thing about it,
Trey, what
that's the
up,
team.
baby?
Well, that's the team where all the quarterback got to do is just be decent. All I got to do,
Right.
you got a good line, you got a ground attack, you got receivers, you got an excellent defense around you. I
Yeah,
mean, you're going to be put in position to succeed. It's not like Stafford can't play. He just in Detroit, he just got to put up numbers, but couldn't win ball games. But still, I mean, he can play. So
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
not like it's not like you got Nathan Peterman out there or nothing. I mean, he can play. Just like Jared Goff ain't nothing special, but I mean, they still won a lot of games with him, got to a Super Bowl with him. So even got to the playoffs last year with them, got to the second round of the playoffs with them last year. So I mean,
yeah,
uh, so they should be good whether it's Stafford playing or whoever, as long as they
yeah,
got a functional quarterback.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm taking nothing away. No, Stafford,
No, I don't like Stafford either.
yeah, he's decent. You know, I
He's all
mean,
right, but I mean,
yeah.
like my point is, he doesn't have to be great.
No, not in that team. Like I said, he's not the focal point.
Yeah, think about it. All he has to do is just go out there and do his job, and he can still have a Pro Bowl caliber season with the weapons he got around him. He's not going to be put in position to have to fail. My point is, everything's going to be on schedule for him. You got a defense on the other side of you, so he's not going to be in a situation where he's behind in a bunch of games where he has to shoulder the team. Everything's going to be in a position where he's going to put up good numbers like he always has, and then in this situation he's going to win more games because everything's set up for him to succeed. And good for him. They found a coach that likes him who traded for him, and now he's in a better position.
And like I said, I can't wait till playoffs get here. I want to,
Playoffs.
playoffs. Got
Every
definitely
time you say
want to
playoffs,
see
I'm gonna say that.
playoffs. Definitely want to see what's I got to see the NFC mix. The AFC is still that. It's a whole bunch of question marks right now for that because yeah, right now it's anybody at this point in the AFC. Like you just don't know if you could go. Well, I'm not even gonna. Well, I can say Kansas City, but I'm not even gonna pull Kansas City because right now they kind of looking dismal with their offensive line anyway.
Well,
Uh,
they got to try to win them, make sure they make the playoffs first. When we talking about them
but,
being a
but yeah,
contender,
Trouble. And then is what call it even prep to play Sunday because he took their injury or hit with
yeah, he had a concussion. That's what Ruder is.
also he did have a concussion. But
Mm-hmm.
even with, I mean, they were getting the hell whooped out of him before that. So
Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, yeah, he got a concussion, but that game was long.
yeah.
That game was long over. I mean, longest in the bag by the time he got that concussion. Like I said, I told people this before the season started. I told even you could even go back to the podcast on the season preview. I said they lost two starting tackles. Eric
Yeah.
Fisher, former first overall pick in
and
2013 draft, who was a Pro Bowl tackle, and Mitchell Schwartz, who's a Pro Bowl All Pro tackle. Both of those guys were also injured during the Super Bowl, which is why Mahomes struggled so mightily during the Super Bowl, and neither
Yeah.
one of those guys were brought back going to the season. The defense wasn't great anyway, but the offense lived to mask it because by them being so potent, the defense wasn't on the field as much, so they were always ahead. The defense got to
yeah,
pin their defense got to pin their ears back. Now they're in a situation where the offense is not as dominant because you don't have the pass protection up front. So now you're in a situation where the defense actually has to play to help the offense out, and now they're getting exposed, and that's all there is to it. When your
Yeah.
offense, and even we see this in Carolina, when casual fans don't understand this. If you don't have a good offensive line, you don't have a good offense.
Exactly.
If you don't have a good defensive line, you don't have a good defense. It's as
yep.
simple as that.
That's why we
Simple
lost that
mathematics.
Super Bowl. Carolina.
Yeah, that same Mike Rimmers who started in the Super Bowl for us at left tackle also started at left tackle in the Super Bowl for Kansas City in the place of an injured Eric Fisher, and you saw what happened. Common denominator. But people, because it was funny when people talking about or Mahomes got outplayed or he choked, and people said something. They definitely said that about Newton. I'm like, did you watch the game? He never had time to throw. It wasn't protected.
He was impressed. He was in distress the whole game.
Even if you look at Clemson right now, Clemson's offensive line is in shambles. Don't get me wrong, DJ Ungolula Lately or whatever his name is, he's not great either. And people talk about the play calling. I was like, they can't throw the ball downfield. It doesn't have time to, so they got to dink and dunk and throw it to the kid from Weddington. I call him Lil McCaffrey. What's the kid name from Weddington that played running? Shipley. Isn't that Shipley?
Yeah, Will Shipley.
Will Shipley. Okay. And I hate Weddington, by the way, but that's neither here nor there. They have to dink and dunk it like that because I'm about to say they don't have a line, and it's not like. And this guy here, he's not Deshaun Watson, he's not Trevor Lawrence, and he could be a legit starting quarterback and be able to protect him because he played a couple of games last year. But they don't have Travis Etienne back there anymore to catch the ball and take it 60 yards down the field. They don't have the people up front blocking for him now. So I mean.
Yeah, there you go. The T. Higgins,
Nah. They don't have anyone who could even stretch. They got those big, tall, big body receivers who are good for boxing people out and chain and red zone threat. But you got to get down the field. Yeah, and they don't have that slot guy who can dig the middle like Hunter Renfrow and who they had before then. There was those New England Patriot Edelman / Wes Welker style guys who. You know what I'm trying to say this in a nice way, but
they get down and gritty. They
and in the middle of the field, those possession slot receivers in the like your Wes Welker, like your Julian Edelman, like your Jordan Shipley, who played it when he was in Texas, like your no relation to Will, I don't think, like your Julian Edelman, like your Hunter Renfrow, definitely Hunter Renfrow at Clemson. You don't have that guy there who could take the teeth in the middle, and you don't have that deep threat that could blow the top off, and you don't have a line. So it's like the explosiveness is not there. They'll be okay once they get the stuff together in the offseason, but and just like even when you watch high school football, when someone this is the dumbest thing I always hate when you're watching Nancy football and someone say, "Why do they keep calling those plays?" I tell someone, I say, if nobody block, it doesn't matter what they call, it's not going to work. Why they keep you always hear fans, why they keep calling them the same dumb plays? Why they keep calling that play? What kind of calls that? I was like, nobody blocked. Don't get me wrong. I mean, play calling can be subjective where you can critique and say like, hey, what they probably should have called this in this situation. I mean, there are going to be times that happen, but I'm saying, but for the most part, if you don't have anybody blocking up front, it doesn't matter whether you run it, whether you throw it. It doesn't matter if you run an end around. It doesn't matter if you run a fullback dive. It doesn't matter if you run off tackle. It doesn't matter if you run a counter. It doesn't matter if you come out in the shotgun. It doesn't matter if you come out in the I formation. Hell, you can come out in the wishbone. If nobody ain't blocking, then it doesn't matter what you call or what offense you run.
You're right, because let me tell you something. That if you can't produce nothing out of it, it don't matter what you call. It's just
Chance English once told me this. Shout out Chance English. If you're from Manson County, you know who he is. And this one, Chance was playing quarterback when I was critical one time of some of the play calling. He said, Tyrell, he said, if nobody blocks, no plays work.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He ain't lying.
That from former Anson County quarterback Chance English, our classmate. And he told me those words. We were sitting in Mr. Beam's honors English class when he told me that.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't lying. I mean, if it's blocked, it's a blow play. You just got to make what you're gonna make of it. You're just gonna take a loss, and you're gonna find a way to make something out of it. That's all you can do.
That's right. That's all you can do.
And then, but in Kansas City, right now, they just got to dig out. And like you said, if they even make playoffs, the teams that's ahead of them, they got a long way to climb. So you got Los Angeles, and then you got Oakland. I think it's Oakland and Los Angeles. Yeah.
Well, they lost Vegas now, not Oakland.
But, yeah. Las Vegas.
And I'll be right back in a second, man. Y'all keep talking. I'll come right back in a second.
All right. But yeah, with the Carolina thing, though, it's gonna be good to see who they got this week.
I think we got the ATL this week.
That could be that's technically a winnable game. It's a winnable game.
Is it on paper? Yeah, absolutely. But if Matt Rule's coaching it, it's not. That's all I say.
Gucci, what's up, baby? But
I mean,
you
it's
know, oh, you good? You good?
no. It's like Sunday. Just I can't even really get mad. It's just like it's you. It's like you know what the problem is, and
Couldn't
how
get
much
mad at
you
the
pay.
players because they really wanted to play it. And let me tell you, Sam Darnold, he didn't really have a bad. I mean, he didn't have a good game, but it wasn't like he, it wasn't like he was terrible. Like he threw 6 picks. He only had one interception.
Yeah, he had one interception, but again, yes, he ain't the best quarterback. He makes bad decisions from time to time.
Yeah, he
Well,
do.
but ultimately, it's the O line. And for one, two, I can't say how an offensive coordinator can fix an O line or patch it up. I mean, that part is only knowing what you got and what you can do. But to me, OTAs, slumber reps and stuff like that you have, as far as training camp, to me, there's no way that you shouldn't have some stability to a certain degree. You paid a guy, I ain't say overpaid him, but you basically paid one of the top tackles, right tackles in the NFL this year finally, but he ain't looking like the right tackle that you paid for, meaning Morton. But
Right.
but also, I mean, again, he can't block. He can't be the whole blocking center force of the whole line. You got to have your left tackle to block. You
Right.
got to stay healthy, and that's another thing too that I'm noticing is health. It's not like we breaking legs or anything like that. We having a lot of hamstring injuries.
Right. Yep.
So my thing is how are we warming up? How are we prepping? We're getting our bodies in tune to conditions where, I mean, it's going to happen. Not to say that it's not going to ever happen when you play football, but it's too many sprains and strains that I've seen a lot of our players went out for this year.
Right.
So, I mean, this is the thing about football I hate so much, especially when you see, like, even not even a Cowboy fan, but just how Cowboy fans get so hyped. They see what they have on paper, but they
Mm.
can't produce what they have on paper. And like
Paper.
this year, they finally doing it.
Doing it, yeah, it's different. They're doing it, but at certain points in the game, they still look like the
Yeah,
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas, yeah. So
Yeah.
like we're the same way. It's like, man, look at what we got on offense. Look, defense is what shocked me. And it's not to say even defense. I mean, we did go build a great defense. Not a great defense. We did go build a decent defense to where we can perform and
Yeah.
keep ourselves in the game. But if the offense ain't doing then it's no use to having a stellar defense or a great, a defense that's real good. I mean, the offense is affecting how they're looking now because, like I said, you get burnt out, man. You can't play
Yeah.
3 quarters of defense.
But the thing is, before the defense even at that situation in that game particular, that they were only down maybe what, touchdown and a field goal, but yeah, touchdown. It was what, 12-3.
Yeah,
So it was still a manageable game. You could win the game. You
yeah,
take the quarterback out and put in somebody that has no sort of NFL experience in a close game like that. You know what they're gonna do to him?
yeah, absolutely.
They're gonna rattle him. With your line already rattled up, they can send the pressure. Even though they're not a good pass rushing team, they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna make him nervous. He threw a lot of ducks this Sunday. Let's just be real, whoever that guy is.
Yeah,
PJ.
Yeah, he threw a lot of
Yeah,
ducks.
well, he's an XFL quarterback, man. So, my
Yeah,
headphones ain't working. I mean, my headphones lost connection. Hang on. I'm just gonna do it without the headphones.
that's cool. It's cool. That's about my house. I don't know. Maybe some
Yeah, when I
JP.
left and came back, I couldn't reconnect. As long as y'all can hear me. If you can't
Yeah.
hear me, I'll try to fix it.
Okay. You good? You good? You got good audio.
All right.
But
Yeah, but
yeah,
you got to realize that dude's a former XFL quarterback. That's not a guy that you're looking at as a potential starter or anything. So at that point, that's waving the white flag. I know he was saying, I get what Rule was saying. He was saying the reason he did it is because of his mobility, and he was hoping maybe we can get a spark. Since you weren't really getting good pass protection, and this guy has mobility. But at that point, if you're not planning on considering changing quarterbacks altogether in a game that's still reasonably close, by NFL standards, 12-3 is close. A
yeah, that's
two-score
close.
game,
Yeah.
touchdown and field goal still win it. At that point, that's a give up, and that's where Matt Rule talks out of both sides of his mouth. Like Darren said it. I mean, D-Ron said it best. He's a salesman, a politician. That's what he is. He could say
Right.
all the right. He's a guy that you would love if he was recruiting for college. You would love to have him sit in your living room and try to talk to the parents and get their kid to play for whatever university. But
Right.
what the big boys, but he's not cut out for the big boys.
Oh no.
No.
I mean, like I said, he's a good motivational speaker. He likes to tell people what they want to hear. He's a good pitchman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, but he can make the
still
situation
want to feel
sound
well.
good. But
He could run for governor.
Yeah.
He's a run for governor.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What? Can you hear me?
You good? Okay, I think
I'm good. Can you?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you now.
What?
It's like it's chopped up a little bit.
Okay. It's crazy when
Yeah.
I have the headphones on, we don't have these issues. That's the whole purpose of the headphones. If it happens again, I'm gonna go out and come back in with the headphones.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Again, though, I'm like I said, man. You know, it's a winnable game Sunday on paper, but again, you still got to play the game.
I hate that term winnable game. I'm gonna tell you why. In the National Football League, every game that's played is winnable.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is.
Because every game is losable. So
That's true.
but I get what you're saying. You're saying it's a game that where the odds it wouldn't be it's a more reasonable game for us to win is what you're saying. It
Yeah.
shouldn't it's a game that where the matchup was an evenly matched game is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's basically that's what I'm saying.
You know
And it's
what?
a division game at that. So
Yeah. Well, we're 1-0 in the division, right? Because we beat New Orleans. That's on the division game we played. So this game is important when it comes to tiebreakers and stuff too. When you're trying to jockey for position down the stretch of the season. So Falcons are 3-3. We're 3-4. This is paramount that we win this game. You want to know what I think? I don't think we're going to win it. But who knows?
I'm with
Maybe
you
I'm
on that.
wrong.
I just don't see it. I just can't. Not as long as Matt Rule is coaching that team, I would at least probably be 3-12 or 3-7, well, 14 now because it was an extra game this year. So
Yeah. Dang, you think we're going to lose out?
I feel right. I'd rather lose out just to get him out of there. I'm just he's not a coach for the, like you said, he's not an NFL coach. He's not a coach for grown men. He can coach them kids and make them believe this what they are, but you can't coach somebody making millions of dollars to feel. I mean, that's just my my.
Yeah, like I said, USC, LSU, go for it.
Yeah, you can
they're
motivate.
looking for coaches. We are now hiring.
We can't motivate men.
If Dan Mullen don't be careful, Florida might be open. If Dan Mullen don't be careful, you're losing a little too many games down there. So I mean, Manny Diaz is probably going to get fired at University of Miami at the U. So he might be great to get the U turned around. So
They got a big game coming up this week, Florida, right?
Who? Yeah, Florida and Georgia down there at Jacksonville at Everbank Stadium on the grounds of the Gator Bowl, on the grounds of the old Gator Bowl.
So that right there, I'm pretty sure Georgia's gonna probably do.
That's a rivalry game, but I think Georgia wins that game handily. I think Florida put up a fight, but I think Georgia wins that game something like 35-21, something like that.
And I say it more because I don't look at Georgia for the offense. I look at Georgia because of the defense. Their defense is, I'm pretty sure it's top 5 in college football, if not one.
Yeah,
it's stout. They don't give up a lot. I think the most they gave up this year is 14.
They should win that championship this year, but you still got to play. And because I think they're gonna they should be, even though they play Alabama in the SEC championship. I think they should beat Alabama.
Yeah, they could beat Alabama. Yeah, it's possible.
Alabama's
Alabama's
good,
a
but
little suspect.
Alabama's good, but they're not as dominant as they were like the last couple of years. I mean, that Alabama team did lose to A&M, so I mean, I think Georgia can.
Georgia, Georgia's on my radar. I think the team they are out to prove something. I mean, I feel like they waiting on Alabama. They want them just to prove.
If Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC championship game, Alabama will not make college football playoff. That'll be 2 losses, and didn't win their conference unless the committee's just that biased. I don't see it.
Is it 6 games this year? Is it 6?
No, it's still 4. It's still 4.
It's still 4.
Oh, okay.
They sitting there with number 5 right now.
Yeah, but the first, but that's not the poll for college football. Yeah, that's just the AP poll. That poll comes out like in a week or 2 as well.
Yeah. When are they going to 6? Right? Or
they haven't made that decision yet. They've met and talked about it, but no decision's been made yet.
Okay, I was thinking like they had decided late, like maybe next year or this, like for this year. I didn't know, but yeah.
I like to see 6.
I would like to see 8 if we're gonna do it.
But yeah, I would say 8 is probably for me.
This if you did 8, this is how I would do it. Your 5 conference champions get automatic bids, no matter what they're. If you win the conference out of those 5 conference champions, get automatic bids. Then the highest ranking team, the highest ranking group of 5 conference champion. So from the American Athletic Conference or whoever the champion of that is gets that 6th spot, and then 2 wild card spots from any conference.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea.
So I'm repeat that.
You could base it off. I would base it not even just because of the top 10 teams. I would base it off all 25 that's actually in that thing. Because you got a lot of teams in there that's still undefeated, and some teams, they ain't got a good strength of schedule, but I mean,
they know like the NCAA tournament. If the NCAA tournament did like the college football playoff did, a team like Gonzaga would never even be in the tournament.
Nope.
and 2 of the last 5 years they played in the national championship game. So I mean, that year the Butler went to back-to-back national championship games. They were playing in the Horizon League. Had you had the structure of college football, they wouldn't have even been in the tournament in the first place, just because of the conference affiliation. But like I said, if you did like an 18, your quote unquote Power 5 champions, all 5 of them, the highest ranking Group 5 champion, and 2 wild cards from any conference. That definitely would be pretty dope there, because like I said, it gives the other teams a higher chance. Because like I said, some of these teams they don't play. They ain't got a power strength of schedule. But Cincinnati's good. I mean, they beat Notre Dame.
They're good. Yeah, I ain't taking nothing away from them. They won big bowl games before that.
Yeah, and I'm about to say, but every year the American Athletic Conference always beat teams in Power 5 conferences, and the only reason because it used to be a Power 6 conference back when it first changed from the Big East to the American, but then after the BCS went away and they went with the playoff committee, that's when they took that distinction away from them. Because it used to be the Big East. That's the old Big East. Speaking of the American Athletic Conference, this is a perfect segue. My Charlotte 49ers are moving to the American Athletic Conference. This all started when Texas and Oklahoma accepted invitations to join the Southeastern Conference. As windfall from that, the Big 12 went and poached Cincinnati, UCF. And Houston, and along with independent BYU to join the Big 12. This put the American Athletic on offense. So the American Athletic, in return, they went down to Conference USA and grabbed Charlotte, FAU, UAB, Rice, North Texas, and University of Texas at San Antonio. All 6 of them will be joining the American Athletic Conference, hopefully by 2023-24. So that's big move for a young group to Charlotte. This creates a regional rivalry now. We'll be in the same conference with East Carolina. So you have that situation there. We'll be returning to play, basketball and everything else back to being in a conference with Memphis, and Tulane and all those old schools that we used to be in the conference with.
Yep.
We returned to being back in the conference with Temple. We were in Atlantic 10 with them, so we'll be reunited with Temple, reunited with Memphis, reunited with Tulane, reunited with East Carolina with the other sports. Wichita State is also in the conference, a basketball powerhouse. You'll be playing football. You're playing against Navy, which is all those service academies are always good football. So now you'll have marquee games now instead of some of those games against people like Old Dominion and stuff. You'll have games against programs that do have tradition, that have some history, have a name in the history of being in the top 25. And basketball wise, you're now back in a multi-bid league. The last version of Conference USA we were in was basically a one-bid league where you had to win your conference tournament to get into the NCAA tournament. Now you go back to a league where you have teams like Memphis, who's preseason ranked 12th in the country, where you have teams like Wichita State, which a few years ago got to a Final Four, and typically year in and year out tournament team. Programs like Temple, who have year in and year out typically an NCAA tournament team has rich tradition, especially under the late great John Chaney. Back in the conference with strong programs with some lineage, so that's also helpful to UAB as well. So it's almost like the old Conference USA from back in the day. The band is back together again. So it's,
that's what I said. It's like the old '90s Conference USA.
Yeah, early 2000s and all that. And the good thing about it, the revenue. The football revenue in the Conference USA, in this version of Conference USA, we're only getting $500,000 per member. With American Athletic Conference TV deal, which is expected to stay intact, they have an ESPN ABC deal, which pays $7 million per member. The new members coming in are going to start out only getting $2 million, and then they'll raise them up as they go along. But still, $2 million, even at a minimum of $2 million, is better than $500,000. So you're going to immediately start to see a financial impact on that. So from kudos, Mike Hill, athletic director at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Young lady who's chancellor there, the new chancellor there, kudos to them because they were on the offensive. They got aggressive and went and made it happen. So for a program that's just entering its 9th season, that's a big, big move.
Yeah, that's definitely a big move.
For that, and for UNC Charlotte, I would say the years and years, especially when back in the late '90s and early 2000s when they were with the original Conference USA, they were a well-known college basketball team.
Right.
Look at the arena. Look at the Holton Arena, how big it was. I mean, that's a decent size arena.
That's an arena that would even be up to par with ACC arenas.
Yes.
Yeah. It would.
I mean, that's a decent size arena. I was shocked when I first moved to Charlotte and going there and seeing some of their games, how big it was. Minus the old mine. Well, even when I used to
mine shaft,
when we was in MSN, going to the mine shaft and then going to the Holton Arena. I mean, that was like night and day.
Holton's good size. Like I said, it's a full size. It's an actual arena, not a gym. And it's
an arena.
It's an arena that would be up to par with any of your power conferences. Speaking of venues, the football stadium, there's stadium expansion. They haven't officially announced it yet, but that's in the works. They haven't announced it yet because there's some things they got to iron out. But they've already explained to the American Athletic. They've already shared their plans with the American Athletic Conference. I actually saw a leak of the draft. What they want to do is do a 2-phase expansion. They want to first expand it to a 30,000 seat stadium, and then the second phase expand it to 45,000 seats. Right now, it only seats 15. But that was because at the time they built it, they thought they were building it for an FCS program, not realizing they were going to immediately move to FBS. Like they didn't realize they were going to move up as quickly as they did to FBS.
So would it pretty much complete the stadium? I mean, like fully, like make it a full bowl stadium?
I don't know if it's going to be a horseshoe or a bowl or what, but I know they're going to build from the top. I know that much. They haven't announced it yet. Yeah, but the chancellor, the athletic director said he's already shared the plans with the American Athletic Conference Commissioner. That was part of the. They had to share that with him to even get accepted. They let them know, like, hey, we're going to build a stadium. We're going to expand our stadium. We just haven't announced it yet.
That's pretty dope. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because that conference, most teams in that conference have larger stadiums, at least like 40,000 seat stadiums and stuff like that. So we would need to be up to par. So and what they're going to do. He said in the meantime, he already spoke with the athletic director, said he spoke with the Carolina Panthers. He said for the immediacy, if the stadium's not expanded by the time they get into playing the conference, he said the Carolina Panthers told him that we could play our home games at Bank of America Stadium. We could play our conference home games at Bank of America Stadium if the conference is saying that that our stadium is too small until we finish the expansion, that we can that we could play some of the games that Just like USF, South Florida, they're in the American Athletic Conference. They play at Raymond James Buccaneers Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Temple play at Lincoln Financial, the Eagle Stadium. So what they're saying is, in the meantime, if they say that if while we're in that process of in the transition with the expanding the stadium, if we need to be in a certain size stadium, he already got the okay for us to play home games at Bank of America Stadium uptown.
Cool. I think that's cool though. You know, Charlotte getting that team in particular getting that bump up so quick, and the people that actually help get that bump up for them, you know, that speaks a lot about the coaches up there.
Yeah, because here's and I'm for disclosure about I'm a Charlotte alum, so that's why I'm so adamant about it. When it was first announced that we had football, the original plan was it to be an FCS program, and I know you guys know what this is, but I don't assume that everybody knows. Division I football is divided between two subdivisions. You have the FBS and the FCS.
Yes.
So, like for example, for the people out there who don't know, the FBS, like the ACC, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, the SEC, the Mountain West, American Athletic Conference, Conference USA, the Sun Belt. Those are your. I may have left one. The Mid American Conference. Those are your 10 FBS conferences. That's the highest level of college football. Within D1, there's a subdivision, a smaller subdivision called the FCS. So that's like the Big South, the Southern Conference. So when you see like Gardner Webb, A&T, no diss, I'm just saying when you see those schools like that, those are they're still Division I, but they're FCS. So Charleston Southern and all that. So when we first started our program, when we proposed the start a program and have a program started, it was that we were going to be an FCS program with no timetable on when to become FBS. In the meantime, Conference USA said, if you join us, we'll let you play. We'll take your football team too, and you could immediately become FBS. At the time we started the program, there was a mandatory 2-year waiting period. So we joined Conference USA, but we had to wait 2 years to join them in football. So we still had to play 2 years as an FCS independent, and then 2 years later, in 2015, we moved to FBS. So I'm still thankful for Conference USA, because if it wasn't for Conference USA, we'd probably still be an FCS program. So they were the ones who immediately made that deal to say, no, you can come join us now. And after your waiting period is over, you can join. So again, and I'll give Judy Rose her credit too, because she was the one that made that happen. But from that point on, Mike Hill, he's done an excellent job now to be moving to the American Athletic Conference. Typically, when you're in the American Athletic Conference, you're one realignment away from being in the Power Five. Because typically when a Power Five conference expands, the conference they go to get teams from is the American Athletic Conference. ACC went to the American to get Louisville. The Big 12 just went to the American to get the teams that they just got, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. So that's usually when those conferences are looking to expand, that's usually the conference they go down and they poach teams from. So to get there, now you're one step. Once that happens, if you perform well, you're one step away from being in a Power Five, potentially an ACC or SEC. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But you know, I'm glad that they're making the move. You know,
Absolutely.
Good. Let's get into the main topic of the evening. As we talked about early on in some of the episodes, you know, I told you this shit won't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. I'm sorry. As you see in the backdrop, the point guard, Russell Westbrook.
I don't blame him for everything, but go ahead.
I'm not gonna blame him for everything, but you know, the turnovers. He's leading the league in turnovers. Shouldn't have lost that game. No way we should have lost that game last night. Ain't no freaking way. He was up.
No, you should have blown 20. You should have blown 26-point lead, but at the same time, I think it's a bad chemistry fit too. But last couple of games, he ain't been that bad. You got to blame that goes in the coach staff and everyone on down. You got several. You still got him, Westbrook playing. Still got Anthony Davis playing. There's no way that should have happened. And even before, even in the struggle in some games before James got hurt, the issue is you got the oldest team in the league. The team is too old and they struggle defensively because a lot of those guys have gotten older and not able to defend as well. I mean, that's what I know. Westbrook is still trying to find his way. And anytime you acquire someone new, sometimes that happens. But I'm not going to sit there and just because I think he takes unjust blame a lot when things don't go right because people just don't like him. He kind of has that Cam Newton aspect about him too, to where people just don't like him and blame him for everything. So I'm not just going to sit there. The team lost in the first round of playoffs last year before he ever got there, so they already had their problem.
I mean, yeah, they did that, but
You got an entire roster of guys who weren't there last year, so you basically general manager LeBron James reassembled the entire team with a bunch of guys in their mid-30s who passed the prime, who can't defend anymore, and now you're trying to find chemistry all on the fly.
I'm glad you said that. You remember this happened before when he was in Cleveland. He put an old team together with D Wade and
and then they traded out on the deadline. We traded Isaiah Thomas and all that.
Good job.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna say this though, and I know I keep up a good little stat record. I did see this. It was an interesting fact. When we are up 20 plus points, we were 250 something and including the playoffs after last night.
Well, I mean, I hope your record would be that good if you're up 20 points in the game. I mean,
yeah.
If you lost a whole bunch of games after being up by 20, that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean.
I don't
know. They'll figure it out, man. I'm a Lakers fan. I hate when we just getting these start off pretty good and getting these sorry funks in the fourth quarter, and it blows me, man.
Yeah, Father Time, man. All I said, those guys, you guys aren't getting any younger. Anthony Davis, every time he gets a rebound, he falls and act like he's hurt.
He pulling that shit.
Yeah. You can't build around Anthony Davis. If you get to a point where LeBron James said "F it" and retires or whatever, you're screwed because you can't build a franchise around Anthony Davis. In New Orleans, he didn't win game. He didn't lead his team to wins. He just put up numbers. And when LeBron is not there, when he and LeBron are together, he can dominate. But when it's just on him to be the guy,
he's not a leader.
No, he's not a leader. He puts up good numbers, but he's not a leader. I agree.
It shows.
And he falls and grabs his knee like. I'm like, if you're hurt, then get out the game, man. But I'm tired of him. Every time he goes for a rebound or dives or something, he falls. Then he got to grab his leg and his ankle, lay there, and then limp off and all that. I'm like, that's why I knew that he won't fight Dwight Howard. He'd have torn his hamstring trying to fight Howard.
or Dwight Howard would have gotten his ass. Whatever one of them came from.
Oh, I'm leaving that alone.
No, not like that. I'm saying like fighting.
Oh,
no, not that way.
No, because you know what Dwight Howard there's some. Never mind. But,
yeah, we heard. Yeah, we can talk.
We get off of that altogether. Okay.
Yeah, we can get off. I was talking about throwing these.
Okay.
that was my terminology. Getting it. Well, I might need to rephrase that a little bit. Put his hands on him. I'm saying,
yeah, put the paws on him.
Put the paws on him. That came out a little bit wrong. I apologize. Politically incorrect, but anyway, with that, I don't know, man. I did figure it out. Though. We talked about it last week. I'm like Chilltown said, they'll figure it out at some point. Maybe by the All-Star.
Hopefully, don't figure out be too late. If somebody,
each day going by, man. Don't take too long to figure it out. And the words of Steve Clifford, if you're not careful, it can get late early.
Yeah, it'll get late. Because right now, Golden State looking hot, and they ain't even fully assembled.
Yeah, they don't even have Clay Thompson. They don't even have Clay back yet. But I mean, tell Golden State, bring it on. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, we right now, if like I said, this is hypothetical. We will be out the door looking in at 9 as of today.
Yeah. We've only played 5 games, man. Right.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. I'm just saying hypothetically, we will be, if it was 82 games now, we would be at 9.
But, yeah, and Charlotte Hornets be the number 2 seed in the East, so let's get
it really would. But I expect the Charlotte to come out strong, but now I just want to see how they're gonna handle down the stretch. We started off though, that was expected.
The 3-0 on the road, so I mean that's getting 4-1, and the majority of their wins have been on the road. So they blew a game to the Celtics they should have lost, but I mean, you live and learn. But they bounced back the next night, the next game, winning Orlando on the road, and won that game. So I like they're learning how to finish games on the road.
And your boy Graham has just been cutting food.
Who?
Bridges.
Is it Bridges? I said Graham.
No,
Bridges.
yeah, Graham in New Orleans now.
Yeah, I
met
Bridges.
Devontae Graham last year. Actually, it wasn't even last year. I met him this year. I met him like in March.
Oh,
March, April.
out and about.
I met him at a hookah lounge. No lie, he wasn't even supposed to be there because he was violating league protocols and stuff. But, they can't prove. I didn't take no picture with him because I didn't. The reason I didn't take a picture with him, I didn't want to get him in trouble. They beat the Heat that same night, and I was at the hookah lounge watching him on TV, but I stayed there real late, and he got around like 10 o'clock. I was like, I didn't think it was really him. I was like, that cat looked like Devontae Graham. And then I kept looking, I was like, that cat looked just like Devontae Graham. So I asked the chick that was sitting by me, I was like, yo, is that Devontae Graham? She was like, yeah. So I walked up to him, and I said this. I said, sir, I said, I don't mean to impose on your evening, but are you Devontae Graham? And he said, yeah. And I said, hey, man, I just watched you on TV earlier, man. I said, good win tonight. And he was like, appreciate it. Then he dapped me up, and that was it.
Cool. That's all. Hey, look, he was being safe. That's all that mattered.
He didn't have no
rules were broken. Yeah, no rules were broken here.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, yeah. When I asked him, he tried to play low. He was like, yeah.
He ain't supposed to be here.
He won't like, yes, I am Devontae Graham. Guard for the show. Nah, he was like, he was like, damn it, this dude know who I am.
I gotta go home. Don't nobody take pictures. I can't get in here.
I didn't even ask that. I didn't ask no autograph thing because you could tell that he didn't. He was cool, but you could tell that he wasn't there for all that. So
yeah, he was there for the chill.
He was just chilling, and I think that he respected the fact that I didn't bombard him, and I just dapped him up and kept it moving. I think he appreciated that. That I didn't try to make a scene or a big deal out of it. And at the end of the day, he put his pants on like I put mine on, so I wasn't gonna go on like that anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, you're a human being. I'm a human being too.
Yeah, if you cut us right now, both of us gonna bleed. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, not like you're gonna bleed gold. Yeah.
Nah, not at all.
Green or whatever.
Not gonna bleed gold or purple.
Nah, I ain't gonna do that. You more teal and green. Teal, green, purple. But nah, I like Charlotte though. I just want to see.
Well, I live in Charlotte, so I'm gonna root for him.
I know you're gonna root for him. I mean, this is a home state, so I'm gonna pull for majority of the home teams I can.
Yeah.
Tar Heels, Hornets.
Yeah, leave that one out.
Which one?
You said Tar Heels. I'm like, I don't for Tar Heels.
Well, we'll see when the season starts.
But they got Notre Dame this Saturday, football wise, at South Bend at Notre Dame Memorial Stadium. So that's going to be a tall order. But I mean, Sam Howell and them, they got the weapons where they should be able to score with them. We'll see if they can play well enough on defense. Notre Dame is not that explosive offensively, so I expect it to be a very competitive game. And we'll see who makes the least errors and who makes the most plays down the stretch. And I think it's going to come down to. I'm going to sound like a coach. I think it's going to come down to which team can make the biggest mistakes. We got to go out there. We got to execute. Whichever team can execute in crucial situations, team that can get off the field on third down and protect football, minimize turnovers. Whichever team can do that, I think will be the team to come away with the victory.
So I would say this though, because I'm an advocate for that football team. I do like the Tar Heels too. I'm so adamant next year that it's gonna be such a different year. I get it that this is Sam Howell's second season?
It's the third year.
Third year.
Is it third? Yeah, it is third year.
And he's leaving for the draft. He gone.
You think he different?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he's different.
Hey, would you be shocked if he stayed?
Yes.
Very shocked.
Yes. If Todd McShay and them boys project him to be a first round draft pick, he gone.
But who that did that to 1 year? He actually stayed. I think it was
Andrew Luck.
Yep.
He didn't want to play the and F him. His career still ended up getting cut short playing with the Colts.
Yeah.
Then he tried to launch AAU. Was it AUU? Hey, what the hell? American AAF. I'm sorry.
That's his dad want it, like Oliver Luck. But I don't. Andrew Luck. Screw Andrew Luck.
They try to pay
Everybody
them.
talking about how
They try to
Newton
pay
style.
them in Chuck E.
You know what's
Cheese
so
turkey.
crazy? Everyone's talking about with Newton's style of play with black quarterbacks in general. With that style of play, you can't last long in the league. Andrew Luck, well, they didn't have a great offensive line in Indianapolis, so I want to make that clear. But he scrambled around a lot, just like black quarterbacks do, and whatever, and got hit a lot. But everybody kept talking about the hits on Newton and these other guys, even guys like Lamar Jackson now. But nobody talking about Andrew Luck like that. He was the one whose career ended up getting cut short.
Yeah.
He was running for his Wahiti life.
And his career got short. He missed about 2.5 seasons one time with injuries, like in a row. And then he got hurt again with ankle issues, and then gonna retire right before the season started in 2018 and 19.
I think it was
19. Right before
19.
it started the 2019 season, like the last preseason game, he retired when they were expecting to have him back, and they booed him out there. And
I'm not gonna get. He's like, I'm not gonna get the shit hit out of me this year. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits.
And see, I thought that he was gonna try to come back like maybe a year or two, but it's like I think he done.
Because he sat out that whole the 18 year. He sat out for the shoulder.
Yep, sure did.
Yeah, he sat out the whole year for the shoulder injury.
The one year he missed the year before then too with some shoulder issue. One time he had he had bladder surgery. One time he had a lacerated kidney. Man, his organs and stuff getting all messed up.
He was trying taking them hits,
He
man.
He's like my man from the Buccaneers that year. They about died. What was his name? I think he had ruptured his spleen in the game.
Yeah, the Panthers played. He played the Panthers game.
Yep.
What position he played?
Quarterback.
Oh, Bruce Gradkowski.
Yeah, was it Gradkowski? I guess that's who it was. I remember he about died. He ruptured his spleen.
Oh, it was either him or Chris Sims, one of the two.
Sims. That's Sims.
Chris Sims. Sims. They thought he was going to be the guy, and then
I didn't even like him when he was in Texas, man. He just Bill Sims' kid. That's it. But I like him as an analyst though. Like if you look at like his analyst work, the way he ranked quarterbacks and stuff, he's a dude that's like straight up. He don't do all the politics BS when he ranked players, whatever. He's like one of them like when he talked about guys like Lamar Jackson, Cam and all that. He's like really like straight up and fair about it. He doesn't do that coded language and all that BS. So I will give him credit. I like him as an analyst. But as far as a player, only reason that he even was at Texas in the league is because Phil Sims' kid.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Sims was.
And Phil Sims ain't all that. He got a Super Bowl win, but it wasn't because of him.
That was Warren Taylor's Super Bowl.
Thank LT and that crew for that.
Yeah. That was that man LT.
Yeah, just like Trent Dilfer's. I could hand the ball off and win that Super Bowl.
Yeah. Against that team, anyway.
Jim McMahon's quarterback won a Super Bowl that he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, against Kerry Collins. Was it Kerry Collins?
I said Jim McMahon from the Bears.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about
Trent Dilfer won his against Kerry Collins and the New York Giants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I thought you was referring to.
Yeah, Ray Lewis won MVP of
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
But again, it's like beating a dead horse. It's beating a dead horse. Oh man, can't wait for tomorrow's game. I'm probably gonna make my appearance tomorrow at the if holds up.
Dancing game.
Yeah.
The game for those if you're interested in going to the dancing game, the game will be at West Stanley High School in Red Cross, North Carolina. Right on Highway 2427. If you're coming from Waysboro, when you get off of Highway 205, make a right, and the school will be the next light down the road. If you're coming from Charlotte, get on Albemarle Road and stay on it.
So you see it. Yep.
You're going to ride through Midland, all that, and stay on it till you see the school. I will be there.
I'm going to 742.
D-Ron, then this is the problem. Even if we win the game, the chances are very slim of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm about to ask you, what's the mathematical chances of them getting in? Like, what's got to happen in order for them to actually?
What's the record? Are they 3-4?
3-6. First thing you need to control, you control. First thing you need to win, and then pray that a bunch of other people lose.
And that's a lot of people to lose.
The number 5 is 5 the magic number.
It's not. I mean, it could be depending on who wins or loses this week. I haven't really looked into it and I know this is gonna sound pessimistic, but even if for some reason you get in, you're just gonna have one more game.
Probably. Yeah.
I didn't make it. I was having car issues, so I didn't make it to the game last Friday. But we led the entire game and lost the game on a last second touchdown with 40 seconds left
Yep.
Oh, I thought they
against the
won
good
last
Parkwood
week.
team.
That was up.
I didn't
Leading
know
up,
they had lost
lost the
last
game
week.
on a touchdown, 40 seconds left. A good Parkwood team that beating everybody except Monroe in the conference, and except Monroe in the conference. And that's the thing that you thought would have blown us out. And we led the entire game until the end. But we got better with that quarterback switch anyway. But I'm not gonna get deep into that because there's too much politics involved in that. So, but when they switch quarterbacks, I put it like this.
I like salt and pepper too.
I put it like this. If the kid that's playing quarterback now, if he'd been quarterback from day one, we'd at least won a couple more games.
And what class is he in? The freshman?
He's a junior. And Ralph, I love you, man. But you had a whole offseason, and how in the world did you miss that?
That's true.
Did you miss it, or is it that you never mind?
I mean,
this is what I hope, because I hope that you didn't feel pressure
to do
with
something.
your personnel decisions to appease others. I hope whatever you're doing, you truly thought you were doing it to give yourself the best chance to win, and not just to appease some other people.
That's a question we may know.
Yeah, because think about it. When you're choosing personnel, it should be based on the guys who are there who give you the best chance to win.
Yeah.
And the guy that you had at the beginning of the first half of the season playing QB did not give you the best chance to win. This guy here doesn't guarantee that you win, but he does give you a better chance.
I agree. And we'd like to see what's going to happen into that next year. Since, But again, like I said, mathematically, they got to have a lot of people to lose, even if they do get in. So meaning probably like with everybody, basically. I would say. Like maybe Monroe, Forest Hills. Who else is in that conference?
West Stanley.
And where they sit at right now, they probably down bottom. Oh shit. That'd be 2 conference wins, basically.
Yeah, and we're 0-3 in conference play. So.
Oh.
Yeah, we're in last place.
Yeah.
I'm like you now. If they don't get in, then but I ain't been to West Stanley in a while. That's why I don't think I've been to West Stanley since they started playing them.
I went there 2 years ago. We lost to them 32 years ago. Not 2 years ago. 3 years ago. We lost to them in their building in West Stanley, 35-34 in an overtime game. You probably there when they came to Anson one time because we blown them out both times they came to Anson.
Yeah, I was there when they blew them out and they won conference that year.
Yeah. Well, the year before then, we lost to them in an overtime game, 35-34 on a Monday night.
Okay, yeah, I didn't go to that one. I did go to the last matchup at home, which was
the spring season we didn't get played because our season got canceled halfway through because of that dang on COVID.
Yeah. But I definitely want to make my way up to West Stanley, man. It's right up the street,
Yeah, even from where I live, I get there in like 30 minutes.
I think I got the same amount of travel. It's 20 miles.
Yeah, it's something like 30 minutes from Waysboro. Because from Oakboro, it takes like 25 minutes to get to Oakboro. Then you ride about another 5 minutes out of Oakboro. So.
Yeah, because as soon as you go through Burnsville, you basically would.
Burnsville only like 10 minutes. Take like 10 to 12 minutes to get to Burnsville.
Yeah, I would say it ain't far. As soon as you go through the town, you right basically it switches to 205 anyway once you cross the line.
Yeah, once you cross it and get down to Oakboro, it becomes 205. Yeah.
Yep. So it's just a straight shot. Basically, once you get to that light, make it right.
Yeah, last time I was down that way was for the beautiful wedding ceremony of our good friend Isaac Brown. Shout out to Isaac Brown. He's an avid Bearcat follower as well.
Yeah,
I think he watches the show. Anyway, I'll send him the link to it.
Yeah, I told him about it. He said he'd check it out, but he might have checked it out if he
He
ain't watching
really
it
changed.
live.
Hold on, I just noticed this. Derek, he really changed his name to I Miss Cam on
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying this. He was like, I miss Cam.
here. He can't be no worse than the crap we got.
Yeah,
Can't be worse. Like I think you said that last week. I went home last week because I was at the Charlotte 49ers game, but I think I watched a little bit of it where you were saying like you would even consider that like it can't be any worse.
yeah.
They got too
Every
much more
point.
drive to do that. They'll go 3-14 before they call Newton back.
That's what I said. I wish they go 3-14. That's why I said it.
Well, the franchise deserves for the way they treated them. They deserve the franchise deserves to suffer. I've been so glad to see that color purple meme. That
Yeah,
until you do right by me thing.
Yeah, that's what I feel like they did like this, Cam.
Yeah, until you do right by me, they deserve to fail.
Yeah, gave them 2 fingers.
And New England ain't doing too shabby. I know they're 3-4, and 2 of the wins came against the Jets. So I mean,
hey, I ain't arguing with you. Hey,
and
I
the
was
one
surprised
against
you won that game.
so they're 3-4. They beat the Texans twice. No, I mean they're 3-4. They beat the Texans and then beat the Jets twice.
Yeah, we played nobody basically.
And they 1-4 at home. So and that one is against the Jets. So they go to Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium this Sunday to take on the Chargers. I hope Justin Herbert and the Chargers beat the hell out of them.
Hey, you might get your wish. As you see, I'm not arguing with you.
I want to say I'm
not gonna argue.
We playing Atlanta. That's the thing. That's kind of like my biggest second rival in our division.
Yeah, we struggle in Atlanta even when we have good teams.
Yeah,
like the year we went 15-1 and the regular season went 15-1. Our one loss was at Atlanta, an Atlanta team that didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, Atlanta team, but their record was they even 5 games? I don't even think they won.
They went like 8-8. Atlanta went like 8-8 that year, and so I mean their record.
Possibly Carolina could have went 16-0 if
they got real cold, and then I think that was like the last game they won. Matter of fact, when they beat us that year, I think that was the last game they won. Cause that was like one of the what?
Cause that was late in the season. Cause we were 14-0 going into the game.
Yep.
So, and they were something like 7-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a pointless game, basically. Well, I didn't say it was a pointless game, but it was a.
We'd already clinched our division, but we were still trying to get home field overall. And then we clinched home field because we still hadn't clinched home field because Arizona's record was like Arizona was like 13-2 or something like that.
We beat Arizona.
We've been in the playoffs. I'm talking about in the regular season. Arizona going because we were like 14-1 going into the last game of the season.
Yep.
And Arizona was like 13-2, so we had to win that last game.
Who did we play? Who did we play last? Was it Arizona?
No, in the last regular season game we played Tampa Bay.
That's what it was.
We beat them like 38-10 or something.
We had Green Bay first time. Green Bay.
We didn't play Green Bay in the playoffs that year.
You did?
No, we didn't. No, we played Seattle and we got a bye.
What's my bad? It was Seattle.
It was Seattle and Arizona.
And then we beat Seattle and Arizona.
Arizona, yeah, that's right. Seattle,
because Arizona beat Green Bay in the divisional round. Then Arizona lost us.
That's what it was.
That was when Seattle beat Minnesota when that dude missed a 27-yard field goal.
9-10.
Yeah, it was like -2 degrees or something in that game, I think.
Yep. Because they was playing outside then. I think they hadn't even got their new stadium yet. They were still playing.
They were playing at University of Minnesota while they were building the stadium. And Cam Chancellor said he still had the blisters on his hands in the game against Carolina from the week before. that Carolina. I would say so. That Carolina Seattle rivalry at them. I think maybe with that 2-3 years span was some good game. Yeah, we lost them in 2015. We beat them twice in 2015, but.
Yeah,
but those used to be good. Those were
games.
Those were physical. Those were physical, high-level defensive battles.
Yeah,
that was still Legion of Boom at the time.
Yeah, man, that's when Sherman and all them were there. Some of the years had Brandon Browner and all that crowd. Brandon Browner's in prison, by the way. Like he went on a deep.
He in prison.
Yeah, like a hard time. I ain't talking about like a year or nothing. I mean, Brandon Browner's gonna be there for a minute. Like he got caught up in some like real stuff, man. It's like.
Man, I didn't hear about that.
Brandon Browner, don't you? The cornerback.
Yeah, I know, bro. I used to play with New England and Seattle. He was
Yeah.
with Seattle first and went to New
What
England.
did he
Then
do?
he
I
played with the
remember.
Saints. Yeah,
Yeah,
but like
I didn't know that. You tell me this story. I didn't know nothing about this.
He
yeah,
got,
Google it.
got what he did.
Brandon Browner's in prison, and I ain't talking about like doing 6 months at the halfway house. I mean, he in prison.
He did something crazy.
He is San Quentin.
Yeah, I mean, he in prison. Like he doing hard time.
You know,
Him
like
and Kellen Winslow Jr. They doing hard time.
He did something crazy though. I forgot what he did.
Yeah, but I mean, he in prison, man.
I gotta look that story up now. You gotta be
He
curious.
did something major though.
Yeah, it wasn't like he got caught smoking weed or nothing. It was like some real, yeah.
It was. I want to say, did he beat somebody? Did he do something?
It was something to do with violence.
Yeah.
I'm curious now, man. You get my curious buttons going. I got to look this up now.
Yeah, Brandon gonna be his hair gonna be kind of gray when he get out.
Yeah, he got some time.
I believe.
Cause that was like right after, like this was like he was still playing or something like that, right?
Yeah, man. That's like this ain't been that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you know, Kellen Winslow Jr., man, he got caught up too.
Yeah, he whacked.
He
man.
too. I knew about him.
Kellen Winslow Jr., man. I think he got CTE, man.
You know, he whacked, man, because he that lady, the old lady.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. I was like, yeah, he tried to, yeah. I was like that was weird. Something not right. He ain't right in the head. He wasn't always like that though.
Yeah.
You remember he got in that motorcycle wreck that time years ago?
Yeah.
Hey, but when he was at the U though, and even some years ago when he was in the league, man, he never lived up to his potential. I thought he could have been a Hall of Fame caliber tight end, like a Shannon Sharp type, or as good as his dad. Yeah. He had that potential, but he just kept getting in little disputes and stuff, man.
I still think he had the best interview.
I'm a soldier. I'm a soldier. I saw that when it happened. I'm gonna tell you, they were playing against University of Tennessee, and they got upset at home by Tennessee 10-3 or 10-7 or something like that. And he was like, mad, and he was like, I'm pissed, man. I'm pissed. I'm a soldier.
Yeah. I'm reading the story now. So he was arrested. He pleaded no contest and attempted murder and child endangerment.
I thought it was something like that.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't like he got caught with bag of weed in his car or nothing. I knew it was some real stuff.
And was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison.
I was saying he gonna do every bit of that. That's federal prison.
Yeah, he gonna do that time. He ain't got no choice.
Fade, as they say.
San Quentin.
Yeah, he doing that. He gonna do every minute and every second of that. He ain't getting out no good behavior or nothing.
Oh no, no, not in my house. That was breaking there. I didn't know nothing about that, man. And he been in there like a year.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
he been there for a whole year. So he got 7 more to go. December.
Hey, and like Chris Burns said, tick. He
got a lot of ticks to go.
Man, I bet when you locked up like that time, just seemed like an eternity, man. I bet like 2 years for like 20.
Yeah, because you can't do that. You isolated 23 hours a day. You got to do it's the same routine, and you might be like you said, he might be isolated from everybody, so he's probably
given his celebrity status, they might have to isolate him. So,
but that's how they go crazy, sitting in the room quiet, ain't got nobody.
Yeah, you got to sit. If you isolated sitting in a room for 23 hours and all, you go out, take a shower, and eat, and all day you can leave to eat, I go crazy too, man.
Yeah, that's why they be having them mental problems when they come out because they can't adjust. They ain't been around people. And I get it, criminals, but at the same time, you know what's gonna happen. You put people in the room by themselves. With nothing. It's just mental health.
To me, that's worse than death penalty. At least the death penalty, you put them out of misery. When you sit somebody in a place X amount of years, they about like someone got to do solitary or something like that, I'll go crazy, man.
Yeah, you don't know what they'll do. They might kill themselves or kill people if they get out and they'll do worse with things because they ain't mentally stable. I mean, that's just what it is.
And the thing about it, the prison system doesn't rehabilitate like it's supposed to. Like I thought they should have kept that stuff like where you can get degrees in jail and in prison, and like the thing where they have the work release, like when you're in your last 6 months, you can get a job and get work release, and then when you get out, you already like I know Tyson Chicken and Monroe used to do the work, did the work release thing where they would hire guys who like in the last 6 months of the sentence, they can get work release when they release them to go to work and they have to report back to the prison, and then when they get out after their release date, they already got a full-time job in place. That puts them in a position to be successful and not revert back to things and send them back to prison.
Yeah, Purdue do. I think they're the only one that do it now. Tyson used like they used to do, but I think Purdue does.
So to me, that's a good program.
Yeah,
and it makes sense. Given Tyson, especially like Brown Creek and Lanesboro, given Tyson's proximity, only about 18 miles from those prisons, it made perfect sense. But to me, because you're trying to get them in a position where they can become productive citizens, so they don't end up doing things to get back there. And to me, if you got them where they already got income in place, got legitimate income, legitimate work in place, when they get out, then they have stability immediately upon getting out, and allows them to be in a position to succeed to where that they won't be as tempted or likely to revert back to the things they got in prison in the first place.
And if people don't know, it's not even it's a sports entertainer, and people didn't know Booker T did that.
Booker T been in prison. MVP been in prison in his early years. So yeah,
and they was on when they got out. They had jobs lined up for them, and it turned out for the better for them, you know. And that's another thing. Like I said, that they're just trying to put you in a box and put you back out, make you come back.
And I want to make one thing clear: like, if you're committing crimes, of course you got to be held accountable. So I don't have a problem with accountability.
Yeah,
what I have a problem with, what I have a problem with, that once the criminal's paid his debt to society, then the goal should be to rehabilitate that person so they won't revert back to that position.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with it. And see, they're not doing it, and it's showing because you got more people that return back to prison.
Right, repeat offenders. And don't get me wrong, you're responsible for your actions, but at the same time, it's better to have a system in place to put these people in position to succeed. Because if you put them in a better position, they're less likely to even be tempted to do those things that put them there in the first place.
Absolutely. And like I said, they know what they're doing. So
of course they do, of course they do. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. So it
is
just
something they know. They know. Yeah,
they know. I mean,
they know.
It is what it is with that, and like I said, they got to live with it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's for our young brothers and stuff like that. That's a system I say you want to avoid if you can. I'm talking about don't even get caught up in the system.
Yep, your number once you get punched in.
Yeah, and you're in a rabbit hole because you're labeled for the rest of your days.
Yep,
you'll have a label on you all the days of your life after that.
Mm-hmm. You sure will. Sure will. But anyway, what's next on the docket? Oh, I know what I want to talk about.
What's that?
The dumb fan in Tampa Bay. The dumb fan in Tampa Bay. Listen, man,
he got a Bitcoin out of it.
Hey, look, come on, you got to still sell that Bitcoin and you can get some money off of it, right?
Yeah, but one Bitcoin is worth like $63,000. So.
Yeah, but if somebody's willing to buy that Bitcoin,
somebody will.
Somebody buy it, but
I know the fan was still dumb now. I mean,
yeah, because this is how I'm looking at it. You get that ball, you leave, and that ball is like the NFL is under your pocket now. Like, okay, now you got to give me what I want for the ball.
Yeah,
so basically, I'm playing the negotiator.
Yeah, like if you want it, you got to meet my demands. I don't have to give it to you.
Right, that's the thing. So it's just like in that situation, I probably would have left the game.
I left the game too. I'd have locked that ball somewhere where nobody knows.
Yeah, and
you better get talking the right amount of money. And
that happened to Tom Brady. Somebody got a hold to his.
And even with the Bitcoin, I mean, you cash that Bitcoin out. You got to pay tax on it though. But I mean, you cash. I mean, you could convert it and you could like sell it to yourself and take and do it as capital gain, take cash value of it, and cash out that $63,000. But you got to pay taxes on it. So, but,
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't. If I was him, I wouldn't cash. I would just let the value of it grow, and maybe even cash out later or something. I mean, use it as leverage for something else. But so I mean, I get that, but at the same time, he could have got much more out of that than what he did.
Yeah, because I think all he got, from what I was reading, he got the season tickets free for this year and next year. $1,000 store credit at the team store. That $43,000 Bitcoin, because that's how much it was valued at.
Well, right. As a closing at 5 o'clock today, one Bitcoin is worth like 63,000. As a 5 o'clock was so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think at that time when they reported the story, I think it was like 43, but yeah, okay. 63 now, yeah. But
yeah, I mean, it may have been 43 at that time, but it go back and forth.
Right, but still, he got bamboozled.
Well, dumb. I mean, he was stupid enough thinking he could just because this is your favorite celebrity, whatever, thinking that he was gonna get some brownie points for I'm gonna do the right thing, give it back to Tom. Even Tom told him he was stupid. I mean, Tom told him they should have held on the ball for more leverage.
He ain't even getting the ball. That ball going to Canton.
Well, nevertheless, whoever the ball going to, they would have to give me more than what they gave him for. Yeah, I would have volunteered to say, here you go. I about to say, he want to be in good favor with Tom, and so they're like, I get to meet Tom, and he gonna like me. I'm like,
Now Tom got to pay me. Somebody finna pay me.
Somebody pay me. Roger Dale or somebody.
Right.
I don't care who it is. Somebody better pay up.
Yeah, and we starting the prices at $10 million.
I don't know if we're gonna get 10 million for, but still.
I'd have negotiated start at 10. They would have had to come down. I'd have came down. They got to about 3. I've been like, okay, here you
go. yeah, okay. I get what you do. I get you start out 10 just because you want to make sure you at least get the 3 or something out of it.
I'm gonna test the waters. Yeah, you got to start out and see where we can go
for the $1 million lifetime season tickets.
And the Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin.
Yeah, make it worth it.
Oh, I don't get more than one thing out of it.
Yeah.
I said throw the Bitcoin on it too.
Yeah, throw the Bitcoin. Give me lifetime season tickets. You only got a season and a half of tickets.
Yeah.
This remainder of this year and all of next year, and then that's it.
I said, give me 2 tickets to next year's Super Bowl.
Yep. I got a Super Bowl out of it. If y'all go to the Super Bowl, I want tickets.
Yep, I want tickets.
No matter who I want tickets because you can get it. The NFL can give me tickets. Since the NFL taking up all the Canton, I've got my money's worth out of it.
Or sideline passes one. Yeah,
I got something out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that.
And if it's me, I said Tom Brady. I said also you got to agree on Thursday to appear on the Coach Controversial podcast.
Yep, you got to come on the show. He probably would have came.
I was like, you want this ball? There ain't no problem about it. You go. You want this ball?
Yeah, you want this ball? You gonna pay?
I said, and you better not be late, or the deal is off.
Yeah. As soon as your face pop up on this list, I'm like, okay, he legit. You got to stay the remainder of the show.
Be like Thomas Patrick Brady III. We had him on here, man. People go crazy.
Sound like
just off of Thomas Patrick Brady III. Yep. No, he's Junior. Thomas Patrick Brady Jr.
Thomas Patrick Brady.
I used to. The reason I know is when that Chris Berman used to say that Thomas Patrick Brady Jr.
Again, I want to get that dude. He lowballed himself. He trying to be sweet,
Trying to be sweet, yeah. None of that nice guys finish last. Green had a song, "Nice Guys Finish Last." You're running out of gas. Yeah, you know the song from like late 90s.
Still, man, you got to know your worth. Within that situation, the NFL.
That's what the ladies be saying on social media. They say, "Girl, you got to know your worth, dude. You got to know your worth."
You got to know your worth. They would have been calling me, David Baker, whoever would have been calling me trying to get that ball. I'm like, well, we're gonna start at 10 million. We starting at 10. I'm not gonna say 25 because that's ridiculous. I'll say 10. That way, if you do work me down, I'll at least get 3 out of it.
And I told him, I said, and if you don't keep your word, I'm going to deflate it. I'm going to deflate small.
I mean, it might have already been kind of low.
That's what I thought it just to piss him off. I'm going to deflate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that out of shit.
I'm gonna add this thing out.
I'm gonna add
so
shit
like you a goon. I'm gonna add this thing out.
We add this whole out, and god dang it, you gonna give me what I want for this ball?
I'm gonna let it sing.
Listen, I'm tell you something. You not man, that dude dumb. That's all I can say. He's just dumb. Ain't no way. I can't. I know y'all wouldn't either. It's just stupid. It bothers me.
Hey, as my Uncle Johnny would say, thank you for being dumb. I remember trying to answer playing Sun Valley, and Sun Valley, all they had to do was kneel the ball down before the half, and they tried to do something. I think we ended up getting points out of it because they threw a pick or something like that. And Uncle Johnny yelled out, thank y'all for being dumb.
God almighty. I tell you. Ain't no way. Situation. If I was in that guy's shoes, I'm like, man, I already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gone. Because if you know what it is, you already know what to do. Like, I don't think he knew what he had
at the time. Know?
No, I'm saying like he didn't know when Mike Evans gave the ball, he probably thought it was just a touchdown.
Didn't they announce it in the stadium?
The ball?
They probably had cannons going off and everything.
Hey, did you see that thing where they said Brady told Mike Evans, "You do that again, you get traded to the Jets." I'm saying, oh God, anything but that. Jeez.
And Mike Evans on the sideline like, what kind of ball?
So that's what the New York Knicks used to be with the NBA. It's like, hey, you keep effing around, you're gonna get traded to the Knicks. It's just like, okay, my bad. Sorry.
What the 2000, the mid 2000 Knicks?
up until last year.
Oh, yeah. It's okay now.
They're like straight out wasteland, man. And that's what the Jets are. You know, the Browns used to be what the Jets are now, straight wasteland.
Yeah.
Like you put somebody off you keep running off of that dang on mouth. All right, we'll trade you. Send your butt right to the Jets.
3 things for certain that you knew was gonna happen to the Browns: new quarterback, new head coach, first draft pick.
Yeah, like every year.
That was a yearly thing. Like you knew what you were getting.
In the late 90s,
first process before the process.
Hey, the Bengals used to. I remember one time when the Bengals started winning some games, and they were run off at the mouth, and they had to play the Chiefs. And Coach Vermeil, they were asking him about it, about Chad Johnson guaranteeing that they were going to win the game. He said it's about time those guys step up and play. He said they've been drafted number 1 for a very long time. He said it's about time those guys stepped up and played. I was like, ooh.
I like that.
He said seriously. He said they've been drafted number 1 for a long time. He said so it's time for those guys to step up and play.
When the last time they won a playoff game?
Who, the Bengals?
Yeah.
Like 1992?
Who?
Yeah, when Boomer Esiason was still playing.
That year they went to the Super Bowl. What year were they went to the Super Bowl?
Like 1989, something like that. 1990. No, Buffalo went 1999. It was like right before Buffalo during that time. They lost to the 49ers.
Yeah, I know they lost to the Niners, yeah.
On the last second drive, it was like a 90-yard drive, too.
Was Joe the quarterback? Yeah, Joe was Steve.
Yeah, Joe was the quarterback. But the Bengals had some good teams in the Marvelous. They just didn't win in the playoffs.
Playoffs, nah. They had good regular season.
Now Marvelous defense coordinator at Arizona State. No, he's not defense coordinator, but he's on the staff. Antonio, Arizona State's coaching staff, you see, it's like random as hell. Herman Edwards is the head coach. Antonio Pierce is the defense coordinator. Martin Lewis is on the staff. Somebody else is like a former, like some black guy that's coaching the NFL on the staff. It's like that, like Arizona, like even when they hired Herman Edwards, that came out of nowhere. Like when I saw the breaking news a couple of years ago, like Arizona State agrees to hire Herman Edwards as the head coach, I was like,
I like Herman Edwards. Herman Edwards was funny, man.
Like that was random. You play.
Herman was a wild dude.
I like to say, put your name on it. Be a man. Put your name on it. My favorite one is you play to win the game.
Tell them again, Herm. You
You
play
play to win the game. That's
like,
as simple as can be.
Levy Smith is somewhere too, I think. Where he still in Illinois?
No,
he
he got fired at Illinois.
I see him somewhere.
He's somebody's defense coordinator, but I can't think of who.
Was it a college team or a professional team?
I saw him on some college sideline as defense coordinator.
It was this year too. Like I literally remember seeing him this year.
I know. I saw him on the game I saw on TV. Like,
I ain't gonna say Oklahoma.
No, it's a major program. It's a program in a major conference. God almighty, if you wouldn't ask, because I saw he got a gray beard now.
Hold up, I got you. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, because it's bugging me now.
Oh yeah, Levy Smith.
I'm still laughing at the Dwight Howard thing. I'm sorry. When you said, and I was like, "Oh, come on, man!" You're like, "No,
not that."
Because I was thinking about like with Dwight Howard, some stories that come out about him a couple of years ago. I was like, "Are you really going there?"
No. Not that. Not that.
And then he was out on injury too. It was like, what's
when
wrong?
he had the sore buttocks.
Yeah.
He missed like a whole bunch of
It's an NFL team.
That's what he played with the Wizards.
Washington Wizards.
Yeah, like sore buttocks. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
About that. And I was like, do you see that Dwight Howard is out with a sore buttocks? I've never heard that as an injury.
He must have fell on the floor pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm still about to fall on the floor now.
He must have hit the floor pretty hard.
I mean, he won like no couple of games. It was like some.
He was at like at least 20 games of that thing. He was out like a good chunk, man. I thought they were putting him on IR.
Yeah, he was out, man. He was like
Levy Smith is in the NFL.
And I was like, never mind.
Levy is in the NFL.
Where?
Houston. He's defensive coordinator.
I know. I saw him in that game against the Panthers. That's where I saw him standing on the sideline.
Yeah, he's defensive coordinator, associate head coach.
Yeah, but I don't understand how Steve Wilkes, he does defense coordinator for the University of Missouri. I like Steve Wilkes worth more than a college defense coordinator.
Yeah. Oh, poor Steve.
I like Steve the 1 year he was in Charlotte. And he was in Charlotte more than 1 year, but when he was defense coordinator, then when he left, they brought in Eric Washington. Eric Washington was trash.
Oh yeah, Steve Wilkes had the defense playing.
Yeah, because he was aggressive. Eric Washington was too passive, man. Eric Washington, he was batting them DBs 15 yards off the receiver, man. They were just throwing the ball underneath. All of a sudden, there was a game they were playing Tampa Bay. It was like third to Tampa Bay, and it was like 3rd and 17, and they were just playing pitch and catch. I'm like, well, he got the safeties, he got the DBs 20 yards. Oh, I mean, good God.
Well, who y'all would think? Well, I'm pretty sure y'all gonna say the same answer. The best defensive coordinator Carolina's probably ever had.
Oh, he was only here 1 year, but I think Jack Del Rio.
Yeah, Jack, and then probably what's the name in Buffalo now?
McDermott. He's pretty good.
I mean, he was stout. I mean,
I'll tell you who the worst one was. I think Mike Turkovac was the worst one.
Oh yeah.
Because he had too much talent for that defense to make him a big place. Like they had Peppers and all that crowd. I couldn't stand Mike Turkovac.
What year was he there? The Super Bowl year?
He was there. He was there when Delone went to the Super Bowl and during the John Fox era.
Okay.
He was the defensive line coach when Jack Del Rio was defense coordinator. Then when Del Rio left after 2002, Turkovac was defense coordinator from like 2003 to 2008 or 2009, something like that.
Del Rio had a good couple of defensive
the head coach with the Raiders. He was head coach with Jacksonville Jaguars for a while. Yeah. Then head coach with the Raiders.
Yeah, I remember he was with the Raiders and the Jaguars.
He has these teams with Brian Leftwich and then later on David Garrard.
Yeah.
Brian Leftwich is tough. Brian Leftwich is tough SOB, man. You know what I'm getting ready to bring up, man.
in that game of Marshall, when he played with Marshall, played on a broken leg. His lineman had to carry him to the line of scrimmage, and he would take the snap on one leg, sling the ball down the field, then they'd pick him up and carry him to the line of scrimmage on the next play, and finish the game with and it was actually broken. He couldn't walk on it. He was hobbling, and his lineman was carrying him, and he was slinging the ball on one leg.
Now that's somebody that want to win.
Yeah, that's also pretty stupid too. But still, especially when you're trying to make it to the NFL, that's actually pretty dumb. But still,
it's a good Brian story.
Yeah, it is a good story, man. That'd be great.
Brian son.
Yeah, he's so tough. He played on a broken leg. Fortunately, he didn't end his career.
Yeah, there's a lot of broken legs was in the NFL.
Well, Joe Theismann, man, he never played nothing down at the end.
Yeah, I think who hit him. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he hit him, he called for the ambulance.
He was like,
"Come on!"
Yeah, he was like, as soon as he hit him, he was like, "Hurry up!"
He probably felt that jump break when he hit him too. I'm pretty sure he did.
And man, and then the same thing happened to Alex Smith on the anniversary of that while he was playing for Washington. I'm like, you can't make this up, man.
Yeah, you're like same horrific type of injury too.
Yeah, like
still suffering. Like he died.
Yeah, man, he got like skin infection and stuff, man. Then they thought about amputating it and all that. I'm like, dang. They thought about amputating Teddy's leg that time when he got hurt in Minnesota. They said with Teddy Bridgewater, they said when the doctor cut his leg open for the incision, he said when he removed the skin, he said it was nothing there, no bones, no ligaments, it was just nothing. He said he'd never seen nothing like that. When he said when I made the incision, it was absolutely nothing behind the skin. I'm like, it was torn up that bad. I'm like, what did he do in practice to mess his knee up that bad? Like, I wanted his cleats get stuck in the dirt or something. Because they say he just dropping back like a 3-step drop, and they heard him scream. Nobody touched him or nothing. At the time the report came out, they were like, they're rushing to the hospital. They may have to amputate his leg. I'm like, good God.
I'm like, who hit him first? I was in my first thing, like, who hit him?
No, they say he dropped back, and then they heard him scream when he dropped back, and nobody touched him. Usually, when you see somebody go down and nobody touched them, they out for the season at least.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, but you know, in that situation, you wouldn't think it'd be a broke leg. You think like a corn Achilles or.
Yeah. You know, like when JC Horn got hurt against Texas, when I saw nobody touch him, I said he out for the season. I said nobody touched him. When you see somebody go to the ground and nobody ain't touch him, out for the season.
Yeah, that's automatic.
The non-contact injuries is usually season-ending injuries.
Yeah.
And it happened like all of a sudden. I remember that year that I was with Isaac and them, you know, when they were starting their team up there in Oakboro.
Yeah, the Lakers.
That same shit happened to me.
You took an injury like that?
My back of my Achilles had popped. It didn't tear. It snapped. I wasn't even doing nothing. I was just back there throwing the ball, and all of a sudden I thought somebody threw something at the back of my heel. Like it felt like somebody threw something at me. I was like, what the fuck was that? And then I just went down, and then I looked at the back of my heel. It was like a dip, like
so.
Like my whole back of my heel was like this. You can see the back of it was just bent in.
But it didn't tear.
No, it didn't tear. It's like strained itself. It was a bad strain.
Oh, so like how long did it take for the heel?
I couldn't play basketball for about a year.
Yeah, but
I had to wear this boot.
You didn't have to have surgery on it, though, right? It healed on its own.
It healed on its own, yeah, because it didn't tear all the way through. It just like extended. It stretched itself out way far. If it would have got, it could have got worse if I'd have continued to proceed to do whatever I was doing on it, but I couldn't because when it happened, I went down.
Kevin Durant kind of type.
Yeah, it just happened. Like it's nothing you can do to control it.
Durant ended up tearing it in that playoff game, though.
Yeah,
he sprained before.
He strained it, and then he, like I said, if you continue to do something on it, it will tear.
Well, see, that was dumb because but Golden State Warriors misdiagnosed him. They were talking about he had a calf injury. I knew when I saw him walking with that ice on his thing, when he had that ice on his heel like that, I'm like, that's not a calf, that's about his Achilles.
Yeah.
And then the first time he played and he went down like that and he ruptured it, I was like, I knew it wasn't a calf.
In diagnosing that symptom, let me tell you this too, as far as with the Achilles, it can go up to your calf if it's strained hard enough. And I had a problem with my calf for a while. Like I couldn't get the muscle in my calf was kind of like you couldn't make it. You know how you can contract it?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that once the Achilles had stretched out because that's connected to your calf. You control all that with that Achilles. And I did not even know that. Like, it's just that weird. Like, that little piece of meat in the back of your heel
Can mess
controls your
everything up.
calf.
I got, because the body's like a chain reaction. It's like a chain reaction. I got you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But when it happened, I was like, I thought somebody threw something at the back of my heel. Like, threw a football or something, because that's what it felt like. It just hit me. I was like, ooh. And I just went down because I couldn't put pressure on it. And I looked, I was like, I thought I broke it because it felt so soft.
So that's why you weren't. I didn't see you at the games when I went to some of the games and stuff. But you were injured. Okay.
Yeah, I was out. I didn't play that year. I was supposed to play.
Yeah,
Didn't play. Yep.
I think you helped him coach a little bit, didn't you?
I was supposed to. I didn't go back out there.
Okay.
Yeah. Once that happened, I was like, fuck it. I'm not finna risk that.
Yeah, I went to a couple of games.
Yeah, I was gonna play. He called me and asked me, and I was like, "Yeah, I play." I ain't. I was gonna turn it down because the simple fact of what happened. Whatever happened.
Yeah.
And there was no team here, and I was still wanting to play. He was like, yeah, I'm starting one up here in Oakburg. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, probably reach terms for your contract and everything.
Yeah. Got out there like the second day of practice, the second week, because they did them on Saturdays. And they was out there throwing the ball, step back, and the offense was. And that was it.
I feel you, man.
And that shit do not feel good. I promise you that. Because once it happens, your foot and everything, it swells up. It's just like a massive swell.
I can only imagine.
Walk for a while. You just gonna have to walk with a gimp for a good little while till you get yourself, back the way you can do it. Still it don't feel the same though. I promise you that.
Well, don't be trying to play no ball on it now. You're 33 years old, so your playing days ought to be over.
Oh no, I'm done with that. No. If I'm playing something, I'm just doing something light. I can play basketball, but I'm not playing like football.
Yeah, you'll be 34 in December, so
yeah, I'm good with it. That was a different feel. I've never had nothing like that happen to me. Like it was so quick. I didn't know what was going on. Like I told you, I thought somebody threw something at my heel. That's what it felt like.
We got turned up in December, man.
What's up?
You tell me, man. Bring your butt up to Charlotte, man. You be in Orangeburg all the time.
It's my birthday. You know how the missus want to take me places.
You can bring Miss Simply Nicholas with you, man. We ain't gonna hurt her.
No, I know you ain't gonna hurt her. You know that because she's crazy.
Nah, if that's your girl, then she cool with me. So
yeah. That's what I said. If she ain't got nothing playing, we in there. I don't go no. You know me, man. I ain't been nowhere since the pandemic started, man. I go to work, come home.
No, I understand that, man. I get it.
I just try to stay as far away as I can from masses.
I got you. I got you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind going out. Now, I don't get twisted. Like, I go get me something. Might go to a bar or something. But as far as like a big club, dude,
man, we're in the club.
And not no Wahiti people club either, because they don't be wearing their masks.
I don't know. I'm trying to doze off, man.
Oh yeah, we finna get out of this 9:55. We at the hour 52-minute mark. Finna get y'all the flow. We're gonna start with T. You got the flow, baby.
Again, man, it's a beautiful evening. Always happy to be amongst you all. Again, let's always remember to be grateful for what we have, be grateful for who we have, be grateful for the moments we have. Let's continue to enjoy life. Yes, we must be cautious, but at the end of the day, we must keep living. Let's always remember to be decent to each other. Remember to treat each other with respect. Remember that it's okay to have healthy debate. It doesn't mean that your adversary is just for debate. And most of all, man, just be thankful for life and liberty and health.
Amen. D, you got the flow.
Once again, it's been an honor and pleasure. We had a great show tonight. Get on some good points and topics. Just wishing everyone a great evening, great weekend. It's a Halloween weekend, so definitely be safe out there. Be mindful of kids, and once again, give God the glory. Have a wonderful night. Peace, world.
And I'm gonna say this again. Happy Halloween. Ecstasy is not Skittles, so be careful when you open your bags. It's Halloween. When you get your candy, make sure you're getting candy. That's all I got to say. I'll see you tomorrow at the game.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Cuz I'll holler at you.
All right. Likewise. All
right. We up out of here.
All right.
Peace.